All right, thank you, Patrick. Let's turn to some politics now. Tomorrow, of course, the big day, Election Day. Louisiana's already seen record numbers of early voters. More than 970,000 people cast votes early. And on the last day of that early voting, there was another record with more than 100,000 votes cast.
And we still anticipate 1 to 1.2 million voters coming out tomorrow to vote in this important presidential election.
Once the polls close, the Secretary of State describes what happens.
There's some reconciliation and auditing that has to be done at the polling location. And then they post the results on the precinct door before they transmit the cartridge from the machines to the clerk of court's office. And at the clerk of court's office, the results are transmitted across a secure line. It's a direct line from the clerk of court's office to the Secretary of State, and there's no internet traffic on that line.
Landry says Louisiana's voting machines are air-gapped.
We have very safe and secure elections in Louisiana. We're ranked in the top 10 in the nation for election integrity. And so voters in Louisiana can vote with confidence, knowing that their vote is safe and secure and that it will be counted.
Last week, we introduced you to a new political polling platform with its roots in Shreveport. It's called Vantage Data House. Today, Vantage Data released its final predictions for tomorrow's election. So here's a look concentrating on just the presidential race with the exception of Louisiana. Let's start in Pennsylvania, where Vantage Data says Kamala Harris is up by 2.5 points. In Michigan, they have Harris up by a single point. And in Georgia, they have Kamala Harris up by 2. In North Carolina, Harris is up by 5. In Florida, they have Harris up by a point. And then in Arizona, Kamala leads by 3. And in Nevada, Harris leads by 5. And in the state of Louisiana, no presidential results there, just basically looking at the congressional District 6. That one looks like it could be a runoff between Cleo Fields and Elbert Guillory. So right now, let's bring in a special guest we have with us, joining us tonight, Bishop George from Vantage Data House, one of the creators of that platform. And last week, Bishop, you were here. We talked about your platform going out on a limb, but looking at some of the other polling today, it seems like they're kind of following your lead.
Yeah, it seems like me and Ann Seltzer up in Iowa have been screaming for the rooftops this past month, but it seems like everyone's starting to catch up. And to be honest, a lot of people are going to be surprised on Election Day. I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be an early night, and especially in places like Florida, North Carolina, and Georgia, we'll know pretty early.
Talk to us a little bit about, I guess, some of your methodology that's led you to come to these conclusions.
Yeah, so currently we have one of the largest public opinion databases ever assembled in the swing states with around 120,000 respondents. So every day we're polling anywhere from 200 to 400 people. And so normal polls that you see, they're one snapshot in time. Well, since July, we've been tracking every race in these swing states every single day. And so we get a really good trend line on what's going to happen or what is most likely to occur on Election Day. And since October, we've had this race pretty much tied 50-50. But around October 15th, a lot of demographics started to break, particularly white females over the age of 65.
Now, Jim Kitchens is your chief pollster. He's been in this business for, I guess, 40 or 50 years, and he stands behind all of these results as well, yeah?
Yes, sir. And one thing, he's been polling Florida for 40 years, and he's quite honestly probably the best pollster ever to come out of the state of Florida. We're very confident in our numbers. We've labeled Florida as a toss-up. Right now, Harris has a 53% chance of taking Florida, so really anything can happen, but I can guarantee it's going to be a lot closer than people expect.
All right, Bishop, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. You guys went out on kind of a limb early, I guess, but now, like we said, everybody's kind of catching back up to you. We'll certainly see tomorrow how it all plays out. Thanks again, Bishop. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
You bet. Brenda?
Well, almost half of all registered voters in Texas cast their ballots early, according to the Secretary of State's office. So far, close to 50% of all registered voters either voted early in person or by mail. In addition,